I did my top 10 storylines for Super Bowl 53. He's 1 and 2. Storyline number 2 is him versus Belichick.
Right.
But number 1 is anything McVay. What does he do when you see this in person? What does he do for the Rams that is a difference maker?
Well, the first time I met him, he was like, "Hey, Maurice, let's go out to dinner. Let's talk." And I was like, this is, granted he's younger than I am, but he was kind of like, it was just like, he was cool. He's one of the guys, he's like that friend that everyone follows in a way where he's going to tell you what's right and wrong, but also you're going to enjoy those moments. And I think everyone's embraced him. And after that game against the Saints, you saw like Michael Brockers run into him, Aaron Donald, guys are telling him thank you because he's holding them to a higher standard. He saw something that they didn't see in themselves. And he's able to pull it out without yelling at you and without degrading you, and I guess in that way. And so it's been a crazy ride. Just talking to guy, I talk to Todd a lot every week, and obviously Todd didn't have his best game against the Saints, and sometimes you just wake up and you don't have a bad game, but McVay was there the whole time. Like we're gonna get you going, and not only did Todd he scored a touchdown, but there were some huge plays in the game where he didn't have the ball, where he picked up some blitzes to allow Jared Goff to slide or make throws to Brandon Cooks or other guys get open. And that's what it's about. And so, he praises guys, even when you don't do well with the ball, when you do it without it. And those are the plays they need. So, I don't know, like the culture he's created there, like it's hard to emulate and the things that they do, but he's done a phenomenal job.
He sure has. And he's in the Super Bowl as a 33-year-old head coach. He just turned 33 just this week. Maurice Jones-Drew here in the Honda Insider Report. All right, what is with Todd Gurley? What is happening? Is he hurt? He's hurt.
I don't think he's hurt. To be honest with you, and I may be wrong. I think he did a great job in Dallas. Sometimes when you get in the playoffs, though, it's who's hotter. And C.J. Anderson was the hotter guy. I remember playing the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night, and I don't know what it was. I just kept fumbling. I think I fumbled like 4 times. And it was just like I changed my gloves. I'd washed my hands. I went in at halftime and took a shower to try to get whatever was on me off. Sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and it's just not your day. But that's one time I think has happened for Todd. And so I expect him to come back in the Super Bowl and be able to be the guy that he's always been and play the way he's played.
If he's not hurt, what's he doing on the bike? What's the stationary bike?
He's trying to stay warm. Because remember, you're on the sidelines, just sitting there. You're not moving. You're not doing anything.
So that's Todd Gurley, the OG, okay, the MVP at the midway point of the season, in my mind, okay,
right.
The guy who essentially, if you had to point to one guy on the offensive side of the ball, who is responsible for making sure that the Rams had a bye week,
Todd Gurley,
correct. We know who the other guy is on the other side of the ball, and Aaron Donald. How is he now suddenly the guy that just can't get the burst, can't get to the hole, and that C.J. Anderson looks so much more vibrant coming off of the couch?
Well, let's remember the Saints had the number 2 rush defense too. So it wasn't C.J. Anderson ran well, but they didn't break 100 yards. They didn't really have the explosive gains they wanted in the running game, but it opened up their passing game. Todd's a different back. And so when you watch the Dallas Cowboys, always try to go back to Dallas where you saw the explosiveness. He put his foot in the ground. He made cuts. He made people miss. That's the Todd. He just couldn't do it this week. And so, again, sometimes it's just not your day. Like it's hard to say that, to be like in the NFC Championship game, it's not your day, but people have bad games. So it just so happened that it was Todd Gurley this week, and hopefully that it doesn't carry on. But I got a chance to talk to him after, and I saw the interview at the end of the game, and I've been there before. You're like, look, I played like trash. And it takes a lot because you are a guy that is expected a ton of. But I reminded him, like, there's no way that they are here where you are without you. So it's not like you're afforded a bad day. Now it's just not to have a second one and be able to go forward. And that team did a great job of picking them up. I mean, C.J. Anderson came in, did a great job. Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks has 100 yards. Hey, Jared Goff, your tight ends.
Let's hit this here for a second with you, Maurice Jones-Drew. Goff dropped his huggies in this game.
No question.
To use the Parcells phrase of growing up, some of the throws he made were dynamite, including the 3rd down one to help set up the game-tying field goal. I thought that game was, in fact, over based on the way the first couple of plays were going on their first offensive set. He made a great rolling to his right. I thought, oh, God, he's going to throw it away, right. And now the whole season is going to come down on one. It was, and I think it led to the Everett completion.
Yeah.
That was the longest completion of the entire game. I mean, that was something else right there.
Well, the Rams, what people don't know, the Rams are one of the top teams, I want to say, if not the top team in the 2-minute situation at the end of the half or at the end of the game. They always convert for points, which is huge. And that was the thing that I brought up on our broadcast, is that they excel in these type of situations. Maybe it's because Jared Goff is used to the no huddle from Cal when he was there. Maybe it's just they perform better. You see more simple coverages in those situations. But he was able to make plays, and those guys believe in their system and what they do. And Jared, when he throws the ball to him, and again, the Gerald Everett catch and run was amazing, right? You haven't seen that type of guys are just showing up, and sometimes you need that when your best player is going down. But I remember so it's funny. I used to train at Cal when I would play in the NFL, and Jared was a freshman, and he was hurt. He got hurt after his freshman year, and so I was banged up a little bit, and we were in the treatment room. That's where I really got to know him there, because we were doing treatment at the same time.
Huh.
And the 18-year-old Jared Goff is completely different than the guy now.
What do you mean?
Just he didn't have the swag back then. He's from Marin Catholic, so I give him that. North Bay is a little bit different than East Bay and other things like that. But he's just real confident after the game. Seeing him with Marcus Pierce said, "I think we're not done yet." Right? Those that is leadership, having a good time with his friends and really embracing that team and what they have there. And it's going to be interesting to see this game, because I can't wait to see. It's a big-time rivalry, too. A lot of people don't know this. Tom Brady, I know everyone knows, went to Sarah High School in the Bay Area up north. Well, their rival is Marin Catholic, where Jared Goff went. It's a big game, man. It's a lot on the line right now.
Oh, my God. Now
it's a lot. I'm giving you some deep stuff.
That is a storyline for Super Bowl 53.
I'm giving you some deep inside stuff right now.
If I gave you the top 10, that might not even crack the top 100, but I understand that we're always looking to create lines of connection here.
I got you. It goes deep.
Okay, there you go. That's next level right there from Maurice Jones-Drew.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.